Here's something interesting about music. The songs we loved at 20 years old, they don't just disappear. No, they stay with us. In fact, many people over 50 are still listening to the same artists, the same albums, and even the same songs decades later. But why? Hmm. Hi, I'm Scott Mullet, and having wrapped up our six part series on investing over the age of 50, we're now embarking on a very different subject in this episode of The Wise Lane. My t-shirt here might give a little bit of a hint, but we are not just talking about music. We're going to be talking about memory, about emotion, and why certain songs never really leave us. Because if you look at streaming data today, something becomes very clear. People don't just listen to what's new, they return to what's familiar. And for many people over 50, the most streamed songs today often come from a specific time. And that would be when they were in their teens and their 20s. So for our Wise Lane crowd, that's really the 1970s, the 1980s, and the early 1990s. And there's a scientific reason for this. It's called the Reminiscence Bump. I'm serious, that's a real term. Look it up. Now, the Reminiscence Bump says that we tend to form our strongest emotional memories between the ages of 10 and 30. But specifically for music, that range narrows more to about 13 to, let's say, 25 years old, which makes the music from that period the soundtrack of our first experiences, our first relationships, our first independence, which means when we hear those songs again, we're not just hearing music, we're remembering a version of ourselves. Streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Music have made millions of songs available instantly. But here's the interesting part. People don't necessarily explore those platforms endlessly looking for new songs. Sometimes you do, but mostly people revisit because familiarity feels good. Familiarity. In the last episode of The Wise Lane, I plugged that this episode would go through the most streamed songs for the over 50 crowd. Now, upon doing a little bit more research, that precise information was not readily available. Streaming services, they may have it, but they do not publish age demographic specific details. Perhaps it's corporate secrets, what have you. However, what we can do is we can infer what some of those songs might be through the psychology of the reminiscence bump. So if someone is, say, 50 to 70 years old today, it means they were born roughly between 1955 and 1976, making their peak listening years the 1970s through 1990s. So the most streamed songs today for that group tends to be in one of the following genres: classic rock, soft rock, Motown soul, 80s pop, and early 90s hits. Now, for fun, I'm going to start a challenge, but I'm going to focus on the classic rock genre. That's right. Here we go. Yeah, I got no skills there. Sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak a small lyrical segment from each of the 6 most streamed songs in the classical rock genre from Spotify. And this is as of the most recent data I could find at episode air date on Spotify. So all 6 of these songs have had more than 2.5 billion, yes with a B, streams all time on Spotify. Okay, can you name the song that goes with each of these lyrical segments that I pulled out? Now, if you have subtitles on, you can visually see these lyrics, but I'm specifically not going to display them here. Like here, I'm not going to put them there because seeing the lyrics might give a visual hint. And I think it's more fun to try to figure it out. All right, so here's the first song, the top 6 classic rock Spotify streamed. She's got eyes of the bluest skies, as if they thought of rain. I'd hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. So here's the second. I'm burning through the sky. Yeah, 200 degrees. That's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I want to make a supersonic man out of you. Third one. I'm worse at what I do best, and for this gift, I feel blessed. Our little group has always been and always will until the end. Next. Some will win, some will lose. Some were born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Next song. Since you've gone, I've been lost without a trace. I dream at night. I can only see your face. I look around, but it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold and I long for your embrace. I keep crying, baby, baby, please. And finally, so you think you can stone me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just got to get out. Just got to get right out of here. All right, those were the top 6 streamable songs on Spotify. Were you able to guess any or all of them? I tried to read as kind of unemotional and straight as possible. Did I throw anyone off with this boring reading? You know, it's really tough to do because these are some great songs, and I naturally want to speak in the rhythm of the music. So to just be like dull and kind of Well, anyhow, if you weren't able to guess or were unsure of your answers, I listed the songs in order in the YouTube description notes for this episode. So you can check it out there and that'll give you the answer. But I'm guessing most of you probably figured it out. Also of interest, did you find anything in common with the lyrics from any of these top streamed classic rock genre songs? If you do, please note it in the comments below. Except for one artist actually having 2 songs on the top streamed list, I'm a bit of a loss to find a lot of connection, at least from the lyrical segments that I pulled out. All right, let's wrap up. Let's tie with a bow. After 50, music often serves a very different purpose. It's not about discovery, it's about connection. Connection to memories, to identity, to simpler moments in life. A song can take you back instantly. Maybe a car ride, maybe a specific person, or a time when life just felt wide open. And that's something that new music can't always replicate. The songs we return to aren't just about music, they're about memory. They're about our identity, about moments that shaped us. And maybe that's why they never really get old to us. So, on the next episode, I'm going to sample some lyrics from the top streamed songs in the other genres that are very popular with the over 50 crowd. So, that would be, as I mentioned before, soft rock, Motown soul, 80s pop, and early 90s hits. So, you get to try those guessing skills again. This is the Wise Lane. Money, mindset, and modern living for the over 50 crowd. I'm Scott Mullet. Thanks for watching.